As most of you know, I have a series where I've gone through every single Caleb and Sophia video ever put out by Jehovah's Witnesses. Many of them are innocuous.
Did Mommy tell you to take off your shoes?
Yes.
Mom worked very hard to clean the house today.
Some of them are downright harmful and contain derogatory, hateful content.
Carrie drew two mommies. She told me they're married to each other.
People have their own ideas about what is right and wrong, but what matters is how Jehovah feels.
But all of them push the agenda of the Jehovah's Witness religion in some way. They try to get by parents' trepidation by telling them it's just a good message for anybody, quote unquote, and send the kids into a corner to watch it together while the Jehovah's Witnesses try to brainwash the adults solo. Well, Jehovah's Witnesses have released a new Caleb and Sophia video. This one's kind of strange to me because they released a 3-minute trailer for it first, so naturally I was expecting a feature-length video. But nope, it's a 9-minute video. Why would you release a 3-minute trailer for a 9-minute video? Just release the whole fucking thing. Anyways, I covered the trailer on my channel a while back, but since the whole thing is out now, let's give it a watch. It's called Jehovah Forgives. Let's get into it.
It was Jesus' last night with his apostles.
You are the ones who have stuck with me in my trials.
Soon, Jesus would be arrested. It was going to be very hard for them.
All of you will be stumbled in connection with me on this night. For it is written, I will strike the shepherd, and the sheep of the flock will be scattered about.
They were going to run away and abandon Jesus.
I know this seems like a little thing, but since it's right in our faces, no pun intended, I'll talk about it. The beards. What's with the beards? This is made by the Jehovah's Witness organization. Now, I know most people watching probably weren't affiliated with Jehovah's Witnesses at any point in their lives, but I was, until I was 18. I was born in, and if there's one thing I know from my time as a Watchtower slave, it's that beards absolutely aren't allowed under any circumstances. They're straight up banned. Why? Because there was a hostile takeover of the group in the 1930s by a man named Joseph Rutherford, and he didn't want anybody to be reminded of his predecessor, Charles Taze Russell, the founder, who had a big, bushy beard. That can all be corroborated by first and second-hand accounts, which can be found in the book 30 Years a Watchtower Slave, published in 1956. So what reason do they cite for not allowing beards? Obviously, the rule isn't biblical, right? The reason they cite is because it doesn't look professional, and we want to separate and distinguish ourselves from the world. The beard issue seems trivial, but it's something that pulls people out of the religion all the time. It's true. It is trivial. So why do they care so much? Why are they willing to push your friends and family to cut off contact with you for the rest of your life over something so stupid? Something that has no scriptural backing. I mean, they obviously acknowledge that people in Jesus' time had beards. Even Jesus himself had a beard, as depicted in this Caleb and Sophia video. Why are they trying to force people to distance themselves from how Jesus used to live? It's because they can't admit when they're wrong. Ever. 80 years later, some stupid rule made up by some petty, drunk womanizer, and they can't just come out and say, we were wrong, beards are allowed. It should give you a good idea of the type of people we're working with here. Anyways, let's continue with the Caleb and Sophia clip. To catch you up, the dad is basically giving us a rundown of what happened the night Jesus was sacrificed on the cross. Or the stake, as literally only Jehovah's Witnesses believe. He's telling the story of when Peter denied knowing Jesus 3 times before the rooster crowed. Let's continue.
They were going to run away and abandon Jesus. But Peter said,
Although all the others are stumbled in connection with you,
I will never be stumbled.
Very good, Caleb. Peter thought he was strong and would never make Jehovah sad.
I tell you, Peter, a rooster will not crow today until you have denied knowing me 3 times.
Cock-a-doo!
No, it's cock-a-doo-doo-doo.
Nuh-uh. That's not a rooster.
Okay, kids, it's not important how the rooster sounds.
I'll never make Jehovah sad.
Me neither.
Now they're having a stupid, cute little argument to humanize the characters. Not too out of the ordinary. They're just trying to bring the audience closer and give them a personal connection to Caleb and Sophia. But there was a deeper point right before the rooster thing.
I'll never make Jehovah sad.
Me neither.
Caleb says, "I'll never make Jehovah sad." But the story the dad is telling is about a time when Peter made Jehovah sad. Obviously, they're about to put Caleb in that situation, probably over something stupid, and then he's gonna hate himself for it. Let's continue.
I'll never make Jehovah sad.
Me neither.
We know you'd never want to.
But Jesus knew Peter would be afraid. And when you are afraid,
Oh no, you're late. Hurry, grab your bags. Be careful. Love you, kids. See you later.
be good.
Bye, Mom. Bye, Dad.
Notice how they're depicting the family studying in the morning before school. Jehovah's Witnesses are supposed to and expected to do that, up to the very last second, even making them late in this case, because Jehovah always comes first, before anything else. A general audience might not pick up on this, but the message I'm getting from this is assumed among Jehovah's Witnesses. You're expected to devote every free second of your life to the organization. Every free second. If you have a hobby, then it means you're being selfish by spending time doing something you like rather than something Jehovah likes. I know it seems like I'm pulling this video to shreds right now, but there's a reason for that. You'll see why in a minute. This is pure propaganda. This video is made to indoctrinate and brainwash people. Everything in it is there to serve that purpose. Let's continue.
I'm home. Hello? Anybody?
He had a rough day.
Why would the bus driver do that? The bus driver has to close those doors. It isn't automatic. Was he just being a D-bag or what? Anyways, the point is, Caleb is home from school now, and something completely devastating happened to him. Something seriously traumatic. Let's see what it was.
Oh, what happened? Caleb, are you okay?
What if Jehovah doesn't want to be my friend anymore?
Jehovah wants to be your friend. But if you did something bad, he wants you to tell.
Something else to notice. The mom was there since Caleb got home. Why didn't she offer him guidance? Because it's the man's responsibility to provide spiritual guidance to the children. The woman can offer guidance, and she will if need be, but it's really the man's responsibility. In fact, if Caleb is baptized, which happens sometimes, kids as young as 7 get baptized, then the woman has to wear a hijab while talking to Caleb about it. That's right, women wear head coverings in the Jehovah's Witness religion sometimes. Depends on the situation. That's a little past this lesson, so they decided to have the dad provide the spiritual guidance in this video instead. I'm skipping ahead a little bit, but for the sake of the story, I'll tell you guys what Caleb did that devastated him so much. Somebody at school had a birthday, so the class ate birthday cupcakes. When nobody was watching, he went up and grabbed one, about to eat it. Then he was questioned about why he was eating one, when his entire class knew he wasn't supposed to. What's being depicted here is artificial stress imposed by an organization. Stress that doesn't even need to be there, and it shouldn't be. Putting kids through something like this is straight up wrong. I know, because I went through it too. The organization has a limited number of tools at their disposal, legally speaking. They can't imprison somebody who breaks their rules. They can't sentence them to probation. They can't put them on house arrest. So they resort to a few things. The first and most useful tool to keep people in line is guilt. What they're showing you here, the way Caleb is reacting, in the eyes of the Jehovah's Witness religion, this is a proportional reaction to what Caleb did. He was about to eat a cupcake. I don't know if he got around to it or not. We'll find out in a minute. But he was about to. That's what matters. That should absolutely devastate you. If you even think about breaking a rule, you should hang your head in shame. You're disgusting, you're evil, and you're headed down a bad path. If you don't correct that path, i.e. if the guilt doesn't work, the elders in the congregation will use even stronger tools against you. They might mark you or even disfellowship you. Not allowed to talk to anybody in your life. ever again for the rest of your life. And they make sure this tool is as powerful as possible because it's the last one they've got. They prevent you from making friends outside the religion. They try to isolate you to the best of their ability. That's the nature of a cult. They want you to be dependent and obedient. It makes you a lot easier to control. So the fact that Caleb is succumbing to the guilt is a sign that there probably won't need to be further consequences for him. In the next clip, pay attention to how Caleb's classmates are depicted. Watch for behaviors and physical features that seem out of place. Let's continue.
Okay, so today at school, I was outside on the playground.
They're making them out to be greedy little monsters. Look at their eyes. They're all sunken in, not like Caleb, one of Jehovah's followers. You wouldn't think anything of it unless you were looking for it. That's the nature of propaganda. That's what propaganda is. That's what makes this different from any other video. Everything in it is designed to make Jehovah's Witnesses look good and desirable, and worldly people look inferior. When it comes to the battle for civil rights, Jehovah's Witnesses like to think of themselves as on the right side of history. They'll accept anybody in as a brother, black, white, whatever. Skin color is irrelevant to them. But that's because they don't want to draw the line on race. They want to draw it between worldly people and Jehovah's Witnesses. They're supremacists in the truest sense of the term. I was taught that people on the outside are sick, depraved, disgusting people, and they have no hope of ever amounting to anything unless they join the religion. They even use seriously concerning rhetoric against critics of their religion. This is Tony Morris, one of the governing body members.
The apostates and the enemies of Jehovah would say, well, that's gruesome, that's despicable. You teach your people these things? No, God teaches his people these things. This is what he's foretelling. And frankly, for friends of Jehovah God, how reassuring that they're finally going to be gone. All these despicable enemies that have just reproached Jehovah's name, destroyed, never, ever to live again. Now, it's not that we rejoice in someone's death, but when it comes to God's enemies, finally.
If that isn't concerning rhetoric, I don't know what is. Honestly, sounds like rejoicing in someone's death to me. No way to get around that. This is how they view outsiders. This is how they view critics. Is it really a surprise to find things like sunken eyes and greediness in worldly people when they're depicting them in their propaganda pieces? They are literally talking about how they want critics' lives to come to an end. That means me. They want me gone permanently. Anybody who disagrees with these 8 people on anything. Yeah, they say they represent God in the Bible. They say they're providing us with God's opinions. But what if they're wrong about something? Like, I don't know, beards? What if they're wrong about not being allowed to have them? If you suggest that to them, you're now an apostate and you deserve the death penalty. Let's continue with the Caleb and Sophia clip.
Hey, Caleb.
Oh, hey, I was just,
You can have it. Wait! I thought he can't have it.
Yeah, which is it? I didn't want it anyway.
But I thought the Bible says you can't.
It says...
Come on, what does it say?
I'm not sure.
Actually, it doesn't say that. I covered this in the debunk I did on the trailer, so if you're interested, you can go watch that. But the Bible doesn't say a damn thing about birthdays being evil. The governing body, on the other hand, they have something to say about it, just like beards. And again, if you disagree with them on this, you deserve to die, and they'll wait for the day when it happens with bated breath. As for their explanation, they give 3 or 4 reasons. First, they say birthdays are self-worship, and we should only be worshiping Jehovah. Second, they say it's something pagans used to do, and we don't want to be like pagans. And third, they say the only time the Bible mentions birthday celebrations, somebody loses a head. Think John the Baptist. They list other questionable reasons, but that's what it all boils down to. The Bible doesn't say jack shit about birthdays. The governing body has decided Jehovah's Witnesses aren't allowed to celebrate them, and if you question that decision, you'll be cut off from everything and everybody you ever loved for the rest of your life. Let's continue.
Come on, what does it say?
I'm not sure.
But you came to my house the other day to talk about the Bible. Don't you remember?
Yeah, maybe that was a beard.
That was you, but you're scared.
Now the guilt sets in. He didn't even eat a fucking cupcake. What's he so upset about? Honestly, I think in the eyes of Jehovah's Witnesses, denying that he was the one who knocked on this kid's door was probably the thing that he really feels guilt over. It's probably not really the cupcake. I'd venture to guess Caleb probably feels bad for denying Jesus, hence the rooster crow at the end there. And also not knowing what the Bible says about birthdays. But again, I'm hard-pressed to blame him for that one. The Bible doesn't say anything about birthdays. Not really his fault. But that's what this whole episode is really all about. They didn't just want to reinforce the fact that you aren't supposed to celebrate birthdays. They didn't just want you to follow the rules. They don't just want your body, they want your mind. They want to push that guilt down your throat. They want you to be obedient, even when nobody is watching. Thought control. Another hallmark of a cult. They want to make sure they've got your mind. As long as they have that, they own you. You'll be too afraid to let your mind wander into seditious territory. In the next clip, Jehovah's Witnesses try to link the Bible story back to Caleb. But before we take a look, I wanted to mention something first. If you like what I do and you want to see me continue to do it, you can support me in a few ways. First, there's Patreon. That's probably the best way. But if you want to get something back for your support, you can check out my Teespring, or you can check out my Etsy store. I sell all kinds of interesting stuff on there, including dumpster fire candle holders, apostate signs to keep the Jehovah's Witnesses and Mormons from knocking on your door, and a ton of game display stands for every game system from the Atari to the PlayStation 4. So give it a look. You might find something you like on there. All links can be found in the description and the pinned comment. Okay, let's continue with the clip.
That was a rough day. Do you remember when Peter said he would never stumble? Later that night, Jesus was arrested.
Move it.
Peter loved him and wanted to help. But doing the right thing isn't always easy.
You too were with Jesus the Galilean.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Again, relating the story of Jesus back to Caleb's situation. The whole video seems to have been over a cupcake, but ultimately, I'm getting the impression it's about controlling people's thoughts. They want to make sure you don't deny God no matter what, but I find this particularly interesting because Jehovah's Witnesses actually redefine lying under the Theocratic warfare doctrine. The Theocratic warfare doctrine basically says you're allowed to lie, cheat, or manipulate as long as it's in service to God. And of course, the Watchtower Society decides what's in God's best interest. So lying or manipulating to further the goals of the Watchtower Society is acceptable. They redefine lying to mean not being truthful to somebody who's entitled to know the truth. That's a little subjective, isn't it? Who's to say who's entitled to know the truth about anything? Who decides that? Jehovah's Witnesses do. The governing body does. In Jehovah's Witnesses' eyes, they want Caleb to feel guilt and shame over his temptation to eat a cupcake, so they selectively toss the Theocratic warfare doctrine right out the window when it's convenient for them, when they have a mind to control. Let's keep watching.
This is one of them.
I do not know the man.
You follow Jesus. I saw you in the garden with him, did I not?
I swear, I do not know the man.
Look at this propaganda, dude. Seriously, that's what this is. There is no better term for it. They're trying to make you feel emotional. They're trying to make you feel shame and guilt right alongside Peter. If they can make you relate to him, if they can make you feel like you fucked up too, you'll be less likely to make the same quote-unquote mistakes as Peter and Caleb.
Peter knew the right thing to do, but he was afraid. and did the wrong thing.
Just like at school.
Yes. Peter didn't want to make that mistake ever again.
Now the lesson is learned. Don't fuck up like that. The guilt you feel is right and just. Ram it in as hard as possible. Like I said, guilt is one of their most powerful tools to keep people under their control. Let's keep watching.
But he wondered if Jesus and Jehovah would still be his friends. After Jesus was resurrected, he talked to Peter.
Simon, son of John, do you love me?
Yes, Lord, you know I have affection for you.
Jesus forgave him.
And so did Jehovah. But Peter had to talk to Jesus. If you upset Jehovah, what do you think you have to do?
Talk to Jehovah.
That's right.
My God, dude, anytime I hear the word Jehovah now, it makes me cringe. Like there's unironically a group of people walking around referring to God as Jehovah. Of course, Jehovah's Witnesses would cite the verse that says something about demons shuddering at the sound of God's name. So who knows, maybe I'm possessed by demons, and that's why it makes me cringe so hard. I just can't believe I ever talked or thought like this. It's embarrassing.
You need to pray to ask for forgiveness. And Jesus showed Peter that he was forgiven by giving him more work to do.
Shepherd my little sheep.
So why didn't Peter give up when he made a mistake?
Because Jehovah forgives. Hey guys! Oh, wait! I'm gonna need to explain birthdays. Can you help me?
Of course.
Now Caleb's job is to go back and preach to his entire class. I'll tell you, I did this, and it definitely made me a social pariah. That might be part of the plan, though. As I said, you're expected to avoid friendships with outsiders. They keep a tight leash on their slaves. Their word, not mine. They want people to view themselves as slaves to Jehovah. Body, soul, and mind. And that means making a few sacrifices. Give up on anything you love because you don't want to run the risk of loving that thing more than you love Jehovah. That includes friends or family who might not share your religious views. My heart breaks for people stuck in this cult. For the first year in a very long time, they net lost people in 2020. That's a good sign. This religion destroys people's lives. I just hope we can maintain that hemorrhage.